My name is Saw Berny. I am now 90 years old. My father was a reverend, evangelism in Thailand, northern Thailand. My mother was a midwifery. And we were situated at Malmin. And I was born in 1923 at Malmin. When I was 9 months, my mother was very much ill, and he was sent to the hospital. And my uncle, Tra Frankie, and my auntie, Mama Nellie, came and saw me and adopted me. I was born in the year 1923. So my uncle and auntie came and adopted me maybe the same year. So I was born in the 4th March 1923. So April, in the month of April, my uncle and my auntie came and they saw me. And my father came back from Thailand. And they said, I would like to adopt your son. And my father agreed. And they told me, my uncle and auntie, they were a missionary at the Selwyn district. The Selwyn district, most of the people there were Karen. It's a hilly places. And British officer, Mr. Tanner, he was a deputy commissioner there. Yes. And my auntie and my uncle brought me and adopted me at Papun. When I was 5 years old, my auntie and my uncle used to talk to me in English. Most of the time we speak in English. And Mr. Tanner also came and visited us every now and then. So in the year 1937, my auntie passed away. And my uncle was a schoolmaster at the Karen Middle School, Papun. And in the year 1929, my uncle quit his job and he joined Mochi Mine. And he became a contractor, carrying all those, bag, wolfram bags down to Papod and to Malmin. At that time, the road from Mochi Mine to Taungoo still under construction, yes, not yet finished. So all the wolfram are taken down by Selwyn River up to Papun, then Malmin, that side. And my father was a contractor there, and my uncle was a contractor there. But in the year 1935, the road from Mochi Mine to Taungoo completely done. And all the wolfram carried down by that Mochi Mine to Taungoo road. And I was educated at Papun Selwyn Middle School. And in the year 1935, my uncle sent me to Miao Miao. And I was schooling there in the government high school, Miao Miao, up to 6th standard. And in the year 1938, I came back to Papun. And I passed my 7th standard at 1941. I passed my, 1942. I passed my 7th standard at 1942. And I was trained as a bandmaster at Papun, bandmaster. The bandmaster who trained me is from the 1st Burma Rifle, Sergeant Major Mounted. So in the year 1942, the war broke in. And the school closed. And with all school boys, they all went back to their home. At the same time, Major Seagrain, he started reorganized a volunteer. And we all joined Major Seagrain's volunteer in the year 1922, February. And all the British troop, 2nd Burma Rifle, together with the DC, Mr. I do remember it. Mr. Feb, they left Papun to Taungoo. No administration at all. No administration, no ruling, nothing. And we all volunteers, we went up to Praropu, from Papun to Praropu. And Major Seagrain started traveling from Praropu to Mochibai, and we left behind there. And at Mochibai, the Japanese came, and he came back to Praropu. In the year 1942, 43, up to 44, January. In the year 1943, about November, Major Nimbu and 3 Kren, they came down with a parachute at Praropu. And Major Seagrain came and joined them there. And they were kept, their hiding place called Kamu Pwa, KAWMUPWADO. You got that? Yes. KAWMUPWADO. Kamu Pwa. Yes, they were kept there, their hiding place. And the Japanese got the information, and we all volunteers were scattered from here and there, you see. And only 2 platoons joined them there at Kamu Pwa. But I was not there, you see. Because you see that you are a chappie, you don't know how to fight, that's why I came back to Mewado, the village, MEWADO, Mewado. Yes, I came down there. In the year 1944, no, she was dropped in November, December. The Japanese, they heard the news and they came for the operation. So at that time, I was at Prahopu. Then we all scattered because our arms are all Italian rifle and we are out of ammo. We can't do anything. So I came down to Mewado. And we were staying there and listening to what will happen. So the Japanese came up with their troop. And at February, the Japanese raided Komupado. And Major Nimul made a delay action. He's alone with one Tommy gun. So Major Seagrain and 3 of the clan and a platoon of the clan, they escaped. And they moved in the night time to Mewado. And the head man, he was a forest officer. And he went up to the very high, in the big mountain, and there was a cave inside there. They kept Major Seagrain and 4 of the clan there. The place there, people seldom roaming about. That's why they kept them there. It was a very good hiding out, you see. So it was all right. But when the Japanese came, they tortured the clan villages here and there. People were suffering. But we didn't say anything. We didn't say anything. The nail here, they put the nail in the hot water, take it out with a plier. So cruel. And another one, they tied our leg and put it upside down, hanging on the tree. They pour water. First, they pour cool water. After that, it becomes a warm water. People didn't say about that. Because they know nothing. They are innocent people. How could they say where is Major Seagrain? They are not cited. That's why they didn't say anything. And the Japanese made hard tortures. So Major Seagrain, he would like to know how much the clan people being tortured. So he told one of his men by the name of Pa'a, P-A-P-A-H-R, Pa'a. He was from the Burma military police, the ex-soldier. And he said, Pa'a, you go down. If you see the clan people were very badly tortured, all the villages were burned down, tell them that I am here. But Pa didn't want to come down, but so it is the order, so he has to come down. He came down and he went to the Japanese officer. He said, oh, I'm a military personnel in the Burma military police. He surrendered. And the Japanese didn't question him anything. And he said, did you do anything against our Japanese regarding what you call sabotage and all? Oh, nothing. I did nothing at all, he said. And he was kept there. They didn't question that at all. One day, there was an old man in his bag with a bundle of rice. And the Japanese questioned him. This bundle of rice is for who? Oh, I'm I'm walking in my paddy field, and this is for my food. No, you must bring this for Major Seagrain. No, no, he said. And then the Japanese tied his hand and hanged him up. And underneath, he put a fire. An old man shouted like something, he screamed like something. And Pa saw that. So that old man he shouted and screamed, and then the blood came out. Blood came out from underneath, and some tissues came out. And Pa said, Master, Master, I'm going to tell you, stop doing that. I'm going to tell you where Major Seagrain is. And the Japanese looked at him and he stopped torturing that man. As Pa told him that, I will tell you about our Major Seagrain's hideout. And at that time, that man passed away. He died. And the Japanese start moving from Chaoji, Parabu to Mewade, and other southern part from Papon to Mewade. And I was at Mewade village. And I saw Major Seagrain, tall man with a beard. And he was dressing a white shirt with a dark long pant, shan long pant, with a bare foot, and with a bag, the crayon weaving red bag. Inside the bag is a Bible. I saw him, and on the foot here, it has a badly wounded, so he can't walk properly. So people make a stretcher and carry him on a stretcher. And the Japanese are waiting at the Mewade village. And when they saw him, they saluted at the Major Seagrain, and he came down there. I saw Major Seagrain was on the bamboo stretcher. And the forest officer who made a hiding place for Major Seagrain, his name was Sopada. He was not pleased at all because Major Seagrain willing to surrender his dog. Major, don't go. We got a hiding place here. No. I love your people. At that time, so many Karen villages were burned down. And the Japanese came out. And they took Major Seagrain to Papun. On the following day, I went down to Papun. I saw Major Seagrain was sitting in a hut, a bamboo hut. The Japanese soldier beside each of him. I wanted to go to talk to him, but they didn't give me a permission. And on the next day, he was carried down to Rangoon. And all we young people, you see, schoolboys, we can't do anything. We're all scattered. And that is in the year 1944, you see, 44, February, Major Seagrain surrendered. And we heard that maybe on the month of October or something, you see, he himself, full of the Karen soldier, they were slaughtered at the Hanzawadi military cemetery. 4 soldiers.
They were Major Seagrain's men.
Yes.
So where were they executed?
Hanzawadi military cemetery. So close to Burma Broadcasting Station, opposite Burma Broadcasting Station.
Do you know how they were killed?
Yeah.
พอมาที่โอนี่เลยพอมาที่โอนี่เลย
Headed.
Beheaded.
beheaded
Can you just explain the Japanese?
I didn't see them. People told me. Because some of the Karen people, there are so many Karen people were being captured and they were released. And these Karen people came up and they told us. At that time we were a chappy, you see. We know nothing, we no experience at all. I do not remember the month, maybe December. Colonel Peacock and his troop came down with a parachute at Parapu. At that time, you see, I was at Papun, and we heard the news that the British troops were dropped at Parapu. And we all young people will run up to Parapu, and we joined the Force 136 there. In the night time, you see, it's a half moon, at the half moon, you see. So, with the liberators, at that time the liberators were carrying the troops, you see, were dropped. Maybe 5 liberators and some decorators. So there are some Korean people, Gorkha, mostly are Korean people and Gorkha, they were dropped there. And all the wireless operators were Korean. And 3 of the British from the Royal Signal, I think 3 of them, I do not remember their name, you see. But the rest are all the Korean, the Chin, the Kachin, and all. So we all went up to Parapu, and we were all by companies, you see. We don't call that A company, B company like that. This was, they make in a color, orange, pink, blue, red, white, like that, you see. So I was in the purple Major Terror's company. In the month January, February, March, we, from the general headquarters, at that time, General Slim, he gave an order. You are not supposed to, what you call, to fire. You are not supposed to open fire, anything. Only when they came up, then you can make. You are not supposed to raid the place here and there. Give those young people a jungle warfare training. So 3 months we were trained in the jungle. Our instructors were most Gorkha, the Karen, and the Kachin. Oh, we were training in the jungle, not in the large field in Parapu, in the jungle, in the forest. So we were trained as a ambush, quick ambush, rest ambush. And we were trained to become a scout. Number 1 scout, number 2 scout, number 3 scout. And after that, we are on the range. You see, we got a target. There is only 1 week, you see, only 1 week. We are trained how to shoot well. And we were trained how to hit ourselves in the bush. And one of the sergeant major said, can't be seen and can shoot, he said. Can't be shot and can shoot. can't be seen and can see. You understand? Only some of the Korean people understand. We say, yes sir, that's all. And we told all those who don't understand in Korean language. And we were taught this in 3 months' time. It's a hard training. As soon as morning, we took our lunch and in the training in the jungle. We have to run down, we have to run up with a haversack at our back. We were trained like that. And we young people were very happy by doing so, you see, because we want to fight the Japanese. And so Major Tora make a speech. Now we must move down to Chaoji, he said. Chaoji is a plain, you see, at the foothill of the mountain. It's a little town. So, because everything they had done with the top secret, you see, they just say that we must move down to Chaoji, that's all. They didn't say anything. And always keep your arm cleaning. And we move down, say 3 days move we have to do. And the place, we have to stop the place, say 1 mile apart from Chaoji there. And we don't have to cook anything, not a smoke to going up. We got the, what they call a key ration. Got a key ration so big of this. The key ration inside is a biscuit, what they call with a biscuit, with a small tin of bully beef, that is, and with a small packet of what they call coffee packet, with a small packet of coffee packet, with a tablet of sugar, a tablet of salt, with a small packet of cigarettes, maybe 6 cigarettes. And we have a match, 5 numbers of match inside there, all packed with a, what you call, all packed, well packed with a, what you call, with a candle, how to call it, payang. With a wax, yes, all kept with the wax, so that not to be soaked, you see. So, in the morning, we have to take our breakfast 1 packet. In the noon, 1 packet. In the evening, 1 packet. This is the breakfast, and the meal, and the dinner, all written on the key ration like that. So on the morning, we have coffee, 5 slats of biscuit, and with a bar of chocolate. So we have to boil water and put it coffee, sugar, and all the milk. Milk is something like toothpaste. We squeeze it and the milk coming out, you see. That is the key ration, you see. And after that, after we use that, we got to dig the hole and put the thing into the hole and camouflage it. We all have to do like that. And we were trained again when we have to pass our motion and all. We got to the jungle, take it. They gave us a blade, a long blade. We got to dig a hole and pass our motion there, covered it. That nothing must make a particular smelling, so that the enemy won't take any smelling that people are there. We are trained like that, hard training, hard training. We don't know what is fear at that time. We are very happy We are very happy. I don't know why, you see. We young people, we are smiling all the time. And after training, one day, the order came that, now you clean your arm. We clean all the arms. We oil all the arms, everything. Now check the ammo. Now we must have a complete ammo. I was armed with a silent stand gun, you see. I was armed with a silent stand gun. And the strand is, one section is 12 men. First commander, second commander, and 10 riflemen. And in one section, we were armed with, one section with 3 brand guns. 3 brand guns. With one M9A1. That is anti-tank bomb. But we do, at that time we used to shoot the houses, we shoot the building and all, you see, with this anti-tank bomb. And we have no 2-inch mortar there, all brand gun, stand gun, carbines and all. And this M9A1. And we were carrying a pack of hand grenades. And we have 4 columns, that's right. We have 4 columns. A column, B column, C, D column. One column, we have only 100 men. 100 men, that's all, one column. So, the situation of the Japanese was like this. This is the house of the reverend. This is the church. This is the church. And the house of the people is a long road going up to hill. On each side of the road there are houses. And the Japanese were camping in the houses. There are 2,000 of Japanese. 2,000. So, Major Turner made a plan, you see. So, number 1 group, we go there. Number 2 group there. Number 4 group at the house of the reverend. And another group at the church, along the church side. So, when you see the green light open shore, they make it altar, you see. But accordingly, in our training, when we have the red berry light, we must open fire. Now they made the green light, we open fire. When they saw the red light, cease fire. So we all train like that. Before we go down to Chaoji, you see, we all train. You go to that road, you go to that house, you go to that house. We all train like that for a week. And only after that, and started at 3 p.m., you see, we all moved down. Company by company, we moved down. We move, and it becomes dark at all. And we have to stop at a certain place, very close to Chaoji. Not very far, it may be only 1 furlong only. And we are trained how to move in the night time, moving not to make a noise. We are trained like that, you see. We make a move there, and there was a rain coming down there. Where's the rain coming down? Oh, we are under the rain. And our moral is always get higher and higher, you see, because we want to raise. No fear, we don't know what is fear at that time. And the time came, and the major make all the commander move, and we also move. I want, our company will have to go at the back of the Reverend house. Along the Reverend house, the church, and the houses there. And all the people are there, around there. The Japanese didn't do anything. So as the light is coming up dimly, very light came out and the greed, and all open fire there. We make something like what they call a dawn attack. All surprised. No return fire from the Japs. They can't make a return fire. They were badly defeated there. Only a few of them escaped. So quite a lot of the Japanese, they are wounded, laid by the road. Some in the bushes. They were badly hurt. So we make a fire there for half an hour. Then the red light came out and we ceased fire. And after that, we have to clean the road, you see. We all have to put our stand gun and clean the road. And we didn't see the Japanese at all. All wounded people, all wounded Japanese soldiers at all. And I think the Japanese official, maybe their colonel and some major at the house of the Reverend house, they all died in the house. They all died in the house. Because 3 brand guns and some tank of fire there. And Major Terra went up and threw out the grenade there. And Major Terra was a little bit hurt with his own grenade at this side, you see, but not very much. And at that time, Major Terra went back, and only 50 of persons we left behind at Chauchi. So in the night time, the news came that the Japanese came down with 500 persons. So we all to have to make a move there. We can't stay there. We're only 50 persons. There are 500. So we all make a move and went up in the hiding. We got a rendezvous place. We have a rendezvous place. We all went to our rendezvous place. And as for me, I was narrow escape at that time, you see, because my friends were gone away. They didn't tell me. So when the Japanese make open fire, we got to run away, you see. Only 10 of us, you see, we had a narrow escape. And were aparted from my friend. So we went, on the following morning, we went to rendezvous. But I didn't see my troop there, you see. So we walked, and we met another Major Wilson's troop there. And I joined them. And Major Wilson questioned me a few questions, and he came down to Major Terra. And he said, Major Terra, I want your 10 men along with me. And Major Terra said, Ome, you may take it. Then I came up with Major Wilson up to Prahobuzea. And there we met Major Gilbert and one of the colonel there. And he said to Major Wilson, you must train some of your men how to lay down the booby trap. And I was appointed to go under training how to lay the booby trap. And the officer was a captain. He was an Englishman with a very good English, with a very simple English. He taught us how to lay down the booby trap, how to take out the grenade, the fuse from grenade, to put the cortex, to put the fuse inside the detonators, and how to fix the cortex with the detonators, and how to lay the long, long cortex and fix with the grenade and the cortex. We have to take that training for 1 week. We have to do that for 1 week. And after that, we have to move to the place we call Ser Su, the place called Ser Su, that is near to Thai border. Hsersu, Ser Su. So there, along the British officer was Major Wilson, Captain Fournier, and Major Lynch. Captain Fournier is a Canadian. He was a French. And we got the information that the Japanese, a division of Japanese will be coming along the road from Mochibai to Corridor to Papun. So we were ordered to go and lay the booby trap. At that time, Captain Fournier went along with us. The whole night we were very busy, lay down the booby trap. And the person who has to take responsibility for the detonators and the fuse is another one surgeon, not me. He's a Kachin. My responsibility is to take out the grenade, put the cortex into the grenades, and dig the hole there in the line and camouflage it. That is my responsibility with my men. We have to do that for 2 miles along, you see. And after that, we came back. And Captain Fournier looked at me, "Bert, you keep here with 10 of your men here. When the Japanese came, in the balloon, you see, it has a match. It has a match. You just strike the match like that, and it will explode," he said. Then some of them went back, some of them stayed with me. We got to wait for the whole day. They didn't come back. And we have to wait again when sun down, then they came, you see, the Japanese came. They reached at my pond, I struck the match. All explode, you see. Terrible. All stones and some trees and gone up high in the sky and coming down, you see. And we heard some of the Japanese murmured on the road, you see. And only have to stay there for half an hour. So when the sun coming up after 8 o'clock, we went to have a look. But we have to go very carefully, but some of them maybe not die, they may be wounded, but they can shoot, you see. So we must be very much careful. But we don't go far, because the captain said, "Don't go so far," he said. We can know that they were badly hurt. And that time we came back, you see. The whole night we don't have no time to sleep. The whole day we wait, you see. We come back. We come back to our community headquarters. We stayed there. Then another week. We have to go along the Salmon River, you see. Then the Japanese, they are cruising down the Salmon River. They make a bamboo craft. On the bamboo craft, they put the bushes as a camouflage. They are cruising down. And we have to ambush that, you see. And then I was called back to headquarters because one of my wireless operator, he was not well. So I have to go there as a wireless operator in my headquarters. After a week, then we received ceasefire. Maybe that month, September, I think, ceasefire. I do not remember the Japanese emperor made a surrender. Maybe on the month October or September or October. I do not remember, but maybe close to October, you see. But I do not remember the month, you see, the Japanese emperor surrendered, you see. But maybe in the month of September, in the last week of September, we received order to cease fire, not to open fire. And maybe on the first week of October, you see, the Japanese emperor surrendered. Maybe, I do not remember exactly, you see. So only then we knew that the war is over, and in the month of October, then I was appointed again to go to Thai border. Captain Fournier with my 10 men, you see. There are so many Japanese that they do not do the war over. And it came along with us, with the Japanese officer. One is major, one is captain, and three of their, what they call riflemen, you see. So the Japanese officer came up and we went up together with these Japanese people. So there the aircraft also, they dropped a leaflet that the war is over, you see. So we went to the place we called Mechana, near Thai border, Mechana, M-E-C-H-A-N-A, Mechana. And the Japanese officers, they were taking place in the, what they call Buddhist building there, in a monastery, the Buddhist monastery. No people there, no villagers, no monks, no Buddhist monks, nothing. And there we saw the Japanese heavy battery, 3 heavy batteries there, you see. And some of the Japanese officers in that monastery, in that building. So the Japanese officer came and they talked with their friends there. At that time, they talked with the Japanese officer, and they have the telephone there, you see. And they telephoned to their troops in the jungles. They all came down, you see. They all came down, company by company, company by company, at that Mechana. And the African troop also came up from Tongu there, a company for African troop. Major Luna, that African, all African. Major Luna is a commander there. Yes, and we were there for some few months, and our Force 136 was disbanded. Force 136 was disbanded, and all the Japanese troops in the jungle came back, and they all sent to Tongu. They all sent to Tongu, and we all came back to Tongu. And they dispersed our pay, and we all go back to our own village there. And then I joined the Burma Army signal. I got to go out to Minute. In the Burma Army signal. In the Burma Army signal, I was a radio operator.
For how long?
45, 46, 47, 48, 3 years. 3 years, then Burma became independent. And we had to join there for 1 year, and then we left the army.
And what did you do then?
Yes.
After that, what did you
After
do?
that, after that, I joined the Department of Civil Aviation.
That's what I remember you saying.
I joined the Department of Civil Aviation. First, as a radio operator, and after 2 years, I was promoted to air traffic control officer.
And how many years did you spend with them?
So there for say 28 years.
Wow.
and I left my job with a pension.
Ah. And then you retired.
Yes, yes. And you want to know after that?
Well, can you tell us, actually, can you tell what rank did you hold? You said you had 10 men under you in your company? You were the
Yeah.
leader of 10 men in your company?
2 men, dile.
နဂရုညာဘူးနေဝါအကတစီပါ
Mamle?
အဘိုးကလူအဘိုးအဖွဲ့ထဲမှာလူ10ယောက်လေ
လူ10ယောက်လား
ဘာရလူလဲ
Oh, we all came back to Tongu, you see, together with the African troop.
No, but what rank did you hold? Did you have
Me?
Yeah.
ဘိုးဘာရ
2 stripes.
So that's corporal.
Then in the first 136, I got 2 stripes.
And you had 10 men in charge of 10 men in your company.
Yes?
10 men လူ10ယောက်လား
10 men, yes, 10 men.
In charge, you were in charge, yeah?
အဘိုးက in charge လား
Yes, in charge, yes, I was in charge of that troop.
Do you remember Captain Peacock? Do you have any memories of Captain Peacock?
Oh, yes, yes. I didn't hear, you see, because we were in the border of Thai border. And Major Peacock, he came back, he was from a mountain, he came back to Pragopu. And he made a speech. And he said, he made a speech to our young people, you see, who joined the forces. They are orange, squirrel, pink, blue, dark, white, all 6. All 6, you see. And he Major Peacock made a speech. Now the war is over. And we have to go back to our country. And all you may have to stay and fight again, he said. Oh, yeah.
Why did they have to fight again? For Korean independence?
ဒီလည်းတင်တာဟုတ်ပါ
ဘာဖြစ်လို့အဲ့လိုကရင်ဒီလူငယ်တွေဘာဖြစ်လို့တိုက်လို့ပြောရတာလဲတဲ့
Yes. At the time, you see, in Burma, you see, the Korean people and the Burmese people, they are not all right. They are not all right. Because during the war, while the Japanese occupation during the war, you see, the Burmese people went to the Korean village, they burned down the Korean village, and they had a big quarrel there. It's a massacre, it's a big massacre there. And at that time, the Japanese colonel came and they made a peace. And they made a peace there. Because the Korean people, they never, they want to put their revenge to the Burmese all the time there. Even after the war, in their mind, they want to eliminate the Burmese people, but they couldn't do it. You see. But the Colonel Peacock knew that, you see. So we all go back, and we have to fight again. You see. On account of that, I think. This is what I think, you see, on account of that.
Why did you join the British, the Force 136, at the beginning of the war? Did you feel loyal to Britain? Or did you hate the Japanese? Can you tell us about your feelings about the British?
အဘိုးက
Yes. when we heard the Colonel Peacock came down, we were very happy to join them, you see. And we have a strong will to fight, you see, that's why. So we young people, so we rush up. The whole night we didn't stay, we rushed up to probably there the whole night. Maybe 100 of our school boys, you see, we run up. And we were happy when we were organized, and we were very glad when we heard we have to raise Jiaoji and all this. See, no fear. We don't know what is fear at that time. But as for me, you see, in my mind, after the war, I joined the Burma Army Signal, and I have nothing in my mind to put revenge to the Burmese people. I have nothing there. That only I will work, and I will try to take some knowledge how to repair the radio. You see, and I learned to become, you see, a radio mechanic. I'm a radio operator, and I tried to learn that. And after that, I thought of myself, I'll leave the army, and I joined my job in the civil, and I tried to repair the radio and earn my living by doing so. That's all, and nothing else. Yes, I don't have a particular feeling, you see. At the time we were a champion, we don't have much experience about what you call politics and all, everything after the war. We only know that, we only come to know that the war is not good. So we joined the Army Signal just to take some experience how to repair radio. At the time, after the war, there's nothing training in the civil department. Only the Burma Army Signal can give us a training. So we have a training in that Burma Army Signal as to become a radio mechanic and a radio operator. And after that, I left the army. And then when I joined the civil aviation, there are quite a lot of radio operators that they require. There are very few operators at that time in Burma. So we all, with a very good pay, you see, at that time, in the Department of Civil Aviation. So I knew something about how to repair the radio and all. So we all joined there.
What did you think when Burma Queen Karen? What did you think when, after the war, when Karen State became part of an independent Burma?
Yeah.
Did you feel betrayed by the British?
Yes, I don't have anything in my mind, you see. In my mind is that we only want to work calmly, we want to work, earn our living, and that's all in my mind, you see. And after I left the Department of Civil Aviation, I joined the Bible school, that's all.
What do you feel about the British now?
Oh, they are a very good people to us, because Major Sikrin died for us. And another person, Captain Baldwin also. Captain Baldwin. And another was Theodore Wingate. He loved our people. He also died, you see, in the aircraft. In the aircraft crash. He died in the aircraft, yes.
The Chindits leader.
Yes, Wingate, yes. But we Karen people, mostly of the Karen people, you see, they want to fight the Burmese government, but I'm not interested in that, you see. I want to join the Bible school and evangelism, and those who do not know Jesus Christ. So I become a bandmaster in the Bible school there.
You told me last time that you have very fond memories of British rule, and you would like to see the Karen people ruled like New Zealand, with a British Governor General. You would like Karen state to be part of the British, ruled by the British again? And you said you pray for the Queen every night, every day?
Oh, yes, yes. During that period, you see, this Burma was ruled by New Win. Ha la 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 la. It's a dictatorship. She killed and killed the students, you see. So we don't want that government. So we want the British to come back on account of that. You see. And so many young Burmese people also, they are willing the British to come back, you see. But they didn't dare to say anything wrong, you see. We're talking quietly on each other of us. Yes, really, I'm telling you. But now I'm 90 years old. And the people who were talking along with me also, some people may be expired. And now, I listen in the radio, they all say Nguyen is a dictatorship. He's a murderer, he said. So they are making an uprising at 1988, 8 August.
25 years ago.
Yes, yes, yes. Not our Karen people made it, they are Burmese people make it.
But you say you would like Karen state to be ruled like New Zealand with a British governor here?
Yes. These people, you see, very good few people. And I think it is not very hard to make friends with them if we stay together. Very hard. Because they are very selfish. See, if I work, if I become a big prosperous, they become so jealous of us like that. Even though if I may be promoted to the air traffic controller, grade 1, and after that as a senior flying controller, they become so jealous to our Karen people. And even now, some of our Karen people who are working in the hospital, some nurses, they are not promoted to sister, matron, and all, because they are a Karen and they are a Christian. Still now. That's why it's not easy to stay together with them, you see. So those Karen KNU, they are fighting for their free state on account of that.
Do you still feel loyal to Britain? How do you feel about the British?
We must feel, I don't know other people, but as for me alone, maybe other people may be like me also. But now, on this new generation, I do not do on this youngster, you see. No? Their attitude, I don't know their attitude. But as for me, with the same age as me, you see, we all keep our loyalty to the British. We want them to come back, you see.
Why do you want them to come back?
These people, you see. Now I want to tell you one thing. At that time I was a bandmaster in the theological school. In the year 2001, in the Nama Baptist headquarters, so they are making what you call what we say in English, we are making Thanksgiving. We have a great what they call a concert and everything with all the whole Korean in Burma have to come down there. And we have a celebration there. Celebration of the New of the Thanksgiving to God. Our band player also invited. And in their letter, we invited you to come with the band troupe. And we will send our, we will pick you up with our, and on the way back also we will send you back with our motor car. So we are waiting, they didn't come. We have to go with our own car. And after the concert, we have to come back with our own transport. They don't give us a transport. And all those are responsibility to arrange the transportation. They are all Burmese. They are all Burmese. So on another day we have to go again. So we have to go with our own transport. On the way back we have to come back with our own transport. So after the celebration, I have a news. That chap may be a change, you see. He also came and he also become very disappointed to these people. We can't work together with these people, he said. I asked him, why? I said, don't ask, man. You know these people, you know their attitude. He said in the letter, we'll come and pick you up with our transport, we'll send you back. They didn't do anything. What they did is that they put up the amount to the treasurer. And they wrote it down. We hired a motor car for the band player. We hired a motor car for the choir group. We hired a motor car for that church and all. But they did this. They didn't. So they all put their money in their pocket. That young king, they told me like that. That's why we don't have to stay. Even they are Christian, you see. Maybe very much few of them.
That's why this, talk about his attitude to the British. I know. Do you have a message for the old soldiers in Britain?
Oh.
And the government?
No, I tell you after the war, you see, before independence, I was appointed to go to Rome. You see. There, I was working on the wireless set. Yes, in those days, no independent as yet, still under British. 1947, you see, under Brigadier Thompson. So it's a small bamboo hut as large as this. So before I start working, I clean my bamboo hut. I clean it, shining like something, you see. My bed, all made in the bamboo, you see, at that time, because that's over the war, all in bamboo. So I clean, and I clean my wireless set, I clean my table, everything and all. While I was making a sending, the brigadier came in. Brigadier Thompson. He came in and looked at me that I was busy, and he didn't enter. He didn't enter. So he was one of the signal officers. He came and he said, oh, he was busy with sending and receiving. And they were waiting outside. He didn't enter. Even though the brigadier, you see, they are waiting outside. After I was finished, I put on the logbook, I stood up, and I gave a respect. Only then he came in. He came and put his finger on the wall and everything. Oh, good work, he said. Good work. And on my wireless set also, he put his finger there. No dust. So he told his person as promotion to surgeon. promotion to surgeon. But I didn't do anything. And he called me, "Hey, Bryce, you do the best of all," he said. "You did the best of all. Try your level best," he said. And he went out. You just imagine, even though he's a brigadier, when I was basing on my wireless set, he didn't enter, you see. How a good discipline we were there. And we too have to keep our good discipline like them, you see.
So what do you think of the British now?
Oh, yes. I didn't hear anything what they are talking, you see. Because we are a young chap, and our promotion is only up to surgeon, and we do not involve among these authorities, you see, even though our company commander, even though they are talking with each other, we never try to listen to them, you see. But the only thing that what we know that, I'm telling you, my pay at that time is 150 in Burma money. So when I was transferred to me, myself, and two of my men, you see, with a small detachment, we have to attach the 2nd Burma Rifle on the 1-week operation there. So one of the captain, the British officer came, and they looked at me and said, "Have you drawn your pay?" "Yes." "No, come on, draw again your pay." They gave us 150 each, without any, what they call, in the pay book. So they are very kind to us. And one day we have a concert, on a New Year, Christmas and New Year concert. We all Korean people, we sing with our guitar, we play our clarinet and all. So all our culture has become a very same together with them, you see. We never sing the Burmese song, we all sing the Western song, you see. And I too, at that time, I sing, you see. I used to sing. That always used to sing by Jim Reese, that song. "May the good Lord bless and keep you." Have you ever heard that?
No.
It's a very good song.
Can you sing?
Sung by Jim Reese, you see.
Jim Reeves.
"May the good Lord bless and keep you."
Can you sing?
Huh?
Can you sing?
Why not? At the time I have an accordion, you see. "May the good Lord bless and keep you, whether near as far away. May you find that light awaited, golden day today." Yeah. Golden day today.
It's okay, that's very good, thank you. Do you have a message for the British people you'd like to tell them?
Message from?
The British people.
Yes.
You have a message you'd like to tell them something?
No. No.
What about if there's any British soldiers and current soldiers who are still alive today, what message do you have for them?
Yeah, okay, so if there are your officers who are
Yes.
still alive, do you want to give them a message?
Yes. Major Wilson do wrote to me.
Really?
That's only one time, you see. Or another, Captain Fournier also do wrote to me while I was in Burma Army Signal.
Do you want to say something to them now?
Yes.
If there are current soldiers and British soldiers still alive today, do you have anything to say today? Is there anything you want to say?
Yes. tell them that to pray hard for me. That's all. And the only thing that I can do is I have to pray hard for them, you see.
Can you share with us what was your scariest moment in the war?
No,
Yeah.
even though I was surrounded by the Japanese, I don't know what is fear. And we make our way out easily, you see. Yes, that is one we very, what do you call, that's a wonder, you see.
Can I ask very quickly, I know can I ask him why he wants the British to come back?
ပေးပါဦး
Because he loved them.
Why do you love them?
Teligulawalo.
ဟမ်
Teligulawalo. Ngọc na eo ni mau kule.
Oh, I admire them. I admired your queen. So, her great father, George V, he was a religious. George V, he loved our people. So I'm going to tell you one thing, you see. Our current leader, Saw Berny, in those days, he had an elephant, white elephant. So he went to UK. And there in the open ground, quite a lot of people came and looked at that elephant. And the entrance, they got a ticket, you see, entrance price. People looking at all they never seen a white elephant at that time, you see. So Saw Berny, he make a big, what they call feast, banquet, a big banquet. He called all the ministers of the British at that time. And after the banquet, the Prime Minister stood up and said, "My dear Saw Berny, now you give us a big banquet. And I would like to know what is your requirement. I want to see the king." At that time, King George V, you see. He said, "I want to see the king." It is not easy for me to show you the king. First, you must go to his son, Prince of Wales. So I will send you to his son, Prince of Wales. So tomorrow you came to me at 11 o'clock. At the time in British, they don't have much motor car. They are riding on a, what they call a dog cart, horse. One horse, you see. So he came to the Prime Minister, and the Prime Minister sent him to the Prince of Wales. And he went to the Prince of Wales with some gift, with a current dress. Have you ever seen their current dress?
Yes.
Yeah. With a current dress, with a horn, made of tusk, not buffalo horn, with a made of tusk, a horn, see, with a horn. With a round, what do you call this? It's something like a small drum, you see, make of a good metal. If you strike in the center, it make a very nice sound, you see. Yes, he brought that. So when he went to the prince, and the prince met him, and he gave him the current dress, he gave him the horn, and with a small drum, you see. Small drum with a very good set, you see. The prince was very pleased. Oh, said, "You came to me tomorrow at 11. He want to see my father," he said. Saw Berny was very much pleased, you see. So he came back. And then he prepared himself with a grand dress, and as for the queen, with a grand woman dress. And with a very good, what do you call, we call in Burmese mong. Mong. Yes. If you strike it, you make a very nice ding, 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 like this, you see. Yeah. With that thing and with elephant tusk horn. And for the queen with a dress, for the king with a dress, and with all the crown silver made of gold, you see, put it on the ear, like that. So on the following day, Sotomi went to the prince, and the prince sent him to his father. He said, "Oh, my father is willing to see you," he said. Only then he entered, and he put on the dress, everything, and the king struck that one. He was very pleased with that sound, you see. Very cool, and the sound is very cool and very nice, you see. Something like what do you call? Have you ever heard of the oboe sound? Yeah. The oboe sound is very nice, much better than clarinet, you see. Oboe sound, you see. The sound is so cool and what do you call? So clear, not strong voice. So, and then the king asked him, "Sotomi, what is your requirement?" And he said, "We need our crown state," he said. In those days, Sotomi went and talked to the king. "We want our crown state." If we have a map, I can show you, see. Our Salin district, maybe Salin district, the whole Salin district going down up to Pa'an and Molmi. If you recognize it as our crown state, he said, first. And the second, in our crown state, all the government servants must be our crown people. The doctors and the police officers and the education officers and what do you call the health department officers and all. And in the administration officers, the department on the deputy commissioner and the police commissioner and on the judicial department, all the government servants may be Korean. And the king ordered the viceroy to India. At that time, Burma is joined with India. And after that, not long, you see, Burma has a separation with India. He had his own, what they call, Governor General. Donald Smith, I think, Governor General. And at that time, the deputy commissioner was Mr. Tanner, and he all called the recruit from the Crown places. He called all the recruits to work in his office, all the Crown. He called the doctors, all the Crown doctors, the Crown teacher and all. Excise, the Crown officer. And on the forest department, all forest officers are Korean. All Korean that time. Not Burmans. Even the chief clerk and everything, all Korean. And all the judicial department also Korean. Since then, in our Salun district, all appointed with the Korean people. That is commenced from the 1930. But in the year 1942, the war broke in, and all broke out, all scattered.
Happiest moment.
Happiest moment. Before the war, I tell you, I do remember in the year 1930, at the time I was only 6 years old. You see. There's a big earthquake. You might have heard of the big earthquake at Pigu at the time in 1930. And this earthquake not happened in Pigu, it happened up to the Selwyn, the whole Selwyn district in the villages and all, you see. 3 times it's quake. One time quake may take 7 seconds, like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh. Quite hard, you see. So, in our hilly people, their house are bamboo, nothing hurt. Nothing hurt. But in Pigu, quite a lot of people died in the what you call cinema hall, in the picture hall. And the railway line, some railway line out of order. I do remember that, you see. And after that, we were schooling in our small school, you see, the Cran Middle School. We were schooling there. And all the British, and after Mr. Turner, that came Mr. Ray. Mr. Ray came up with his wife, and he formed up a Girl Guide, Boy Scout, and all this. And we were very happy. We were on Chappy at that time. I was not a brother, I'm only a cub, only a Scout cub only.
How old were you?
Oh, at that time I was only 8 years or something like that, you see. Not even 10 years. We were very happy in that time, you see. And when I was 10 years, 1935, there came another DC. They have a band and all, our Clan School band and the police band and all. And in 1938, yes, our clan year has been recognized by the British government. 1938, huh? 1938, Clan New Year recognized as a British government. As a gazetted holiday, you see.
Karen New is a
Clan Year,
gazetted holiday.
gazetted holiday in the year 1938.
So Karen.
I do remember that. We have our band player, you see, we were very happy playing the band, you see. And every year we have a ceremonial parade on the 1st January, you see. And we have to join the armed police and the police. We have a military march past. And our school band, we have to join them, you see. We played the tune is Colonel Boogie. Ever have that Colonel Boogie?
Colonel Boogie, yeah.
Yes. People are very fond of that tune, you see. And still now, our Bible school is playing that tune, you see.
Really?
Yes, Colonel Boogie. Still, people are very fond of that tune. Huh? Dun 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 dun. Have you ever heard that? Yes. I want to go and visit the people in British. I have some friends who are working together. They are not a pure Clan people, they are half-caste with the British, you see. Now they are also coming to 80, more than 80 there. Ronnie Hindle, write down the name of Ronnie Hindle. We're working in Ronnie Hinder as a radio officer.
Ronnie Hinder.
R-O-N-Y-H-I-N-D-L-E, Ronnie Hinder.
H-A...
H-I-N-D-L.
D-L-E,
D-L-E.
Ronnie Hinder.
H-I-N-D-L-E.
His wife, Karen,
Where is he now? In England?
in England. I don't know the place, I don't know his address. Before we were working in the International Air Radio Limited. Yeah,
Where
we
Atta
were.
Moody ah?
Huh?
Atta Moody ah?
Ma'am, ne?
Atta Moody ah?
ဒီတက်တပါလေပါအဝဲအစာလေးရစားနေခဲ့တာမတိတ်မရင်တော့
Holy ah?
အဖိုးလီတော့ကမူတော့ပူပါကွာအဖိုးလီဦးလေတော့အမနီဘကညုံမလို့
Okay, anything else? Looks right.
The name of the song is that This World is Not My Home. This world is not my home. I'm just a passing through. My treasures are laid up somewhere beyond the blue. The angels beckon me, heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. Oh Lord, I have no friend like you. If heaven's not my home, oh Lord, what can I do? The angels beckon me, heaven's open door, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore.
Brilliant, thank you.